So have you ever really wondered what's beneath the Sphinx and the Great Pyramids? Well, it's not just sand.
I'm going the opposite way. We're going to go to space, and space might be coming to us.
All right, after this. You're on the road beyond. I'm Todd Duplantis. Welcome. We're coming to you from the Houston City College television studios today. Good to have you with us. Doug O'Ryan, my co-host here.
Yes, we've got some interesting stuff today.
Yes, we do.
You're going below ground. I'm going above the earth. We're all over the place. So what is below the Sphinx besides sand?
Well, that's right. Well, there's definitely sand below the Sphinx.
Solved it.
Yeah, that's it. Sand. We kind of talked about this a few months ago, where scientists had done some scans.
Yes, I
remember. And they were found looked like cylindrical objects, maybe thinking that alluding to it could be a power plant.
Yep.
Well, now Italian researchers have jumped in, saying radar scans suggest there is a second Sphinx buried beneath the Great Sphinx itself.
These are like those Russian eggs where you have
several
inside.
Yeah, could be. You know, one thing we know about the Sphinx is whatever shape it's in right now, it's had a lot of wear and tear. But they're looking that this could possibly go beneath the ground to a tune of 108 feet tall.
Okay.
All right. Located beneath a mound of hardened sand, not bedrock. So there's something between it. Now, they've claimed there's an 80% confidence based on their radar geometry. They use satellite radar Doppler tomography, and researchers say the structure is asymmetrical and mirrored relative to the known Sphinx. Lines drawn between the pyramids and the Sphinx allegedly point to a hidden site. Now, the dream stele appears to be showing two Sphinx figures. Some believe this hints at a lost twin guardian statue.
Okay, so are they thinking that this was done originally and they built on top of it, or is it another civilization, or what?
Well, that's the thing, because Egyptologists always push back. They always say the Sphinx were built by Egyptians.
Right.
However, it's being thought that the Sphinx or the pyramids themselves are just the tip of the iceberg. Okay. Meaning, if that is the case, possibly other civilizations could have built this. We know that the dynamics of the region around Egypt, where you find the Great Sphinx or find the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx, has changed over time.
Of course.
It used to be lush at one time.
Right.
And they're also saying that these structures could prove that the Sphinx are and the pyramids are much, much older than what we have at the top. What we have at the top could have been carved by people who were Egyptians, but who built what's below the Sphinx? Well, that's the big question.
That is the real question, because is it another civilization? Is it
that's
early
what we're thinking,
Egyptians? But why would they also do a Sphinx? I mean, like, I don't know. I'm finding this one hard to swallow, I'll be honest.
Think about it. If you look at what's at top of the pyramids, that could have been repurposed. We know that over time, civilizations, as they took over other civilizations. You know, when I was recently in Istanbul, in Turkey, the Hagia Sophia was built when it was Constantinople. Right. It was a Catholic or a Christian church. It was then conquered by Islam, and of course, the Byzantines were kicked out. It was taken over, and of course, the sultans turned it into a mosque. It was repurposed as a mosque. So civilizations are known to take temples, pyramids per se, and recarve them or turn them into something useful to their religion. And they're thinking possibly that could have happened to the Sphinx and the pyramids.
Do they have a time frame? Like what
year
it could have been done? Or?
No time frame, because now the Egyptians are very against people exploring and overturning what they think is canon to them, what they think is their history. They're very strong on that. That's why Egyptologists have come out and said, this is not proven, even though you have radar that says, hey, guys, there's something below the pyramids.
Well, I got one last question. How do you get to this thing without destroying the Sphinx that we know?
Well, some videos, and I didn't use one of them because it wasn't up for public use,
Right.
but some videos do show that there are entrances below the Sphinx, but people aren't allowed to go in there.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that'll
So there's
be-
something below the sand, and then you also have to think of the structural integrity of what's above the sand. We certainly don't want to damage that. That's why we use radar. That
Right.
shows us what's below it.
That's going to be interesting to see what happens. Now, you were talking about pyramids in the
Yes.
Sphinx. Artemis II recently traveled farther than any humans have ever
we got to
traveled.
see that
Right?
one.
Went around the moon, came back, and for people who don't know, who are saying, hey, wait, we've been to the moon, how did they go farther? First of all, they went on the dark side of the moon for you Pink Floyd fans.
There you go.
And by doing that, they went out farther than in
Right, exactly.
Now, there have been reports that there are pyramids and sphinxes and things, not sphinxes, but pyramids and other structures
Right.
on the moon. So Artemis II, it has splashed down, right? Artemis III is planned, if I'm not mistaken, for summer next year, and then that's when we're going to put people back on the moon. Then Artemis IV is when we start the moon base. But check out this footage that I found of what people claim Artemis II saw on the dark side of the moon.
Did they see a Pink Floyd?
Look at this thing right here.
Yes, I've seen this video.
Mysterious
Yes.
motion detected
What
on
the
moon
heck
surface.
is going on there?
Now, some people want to claim that this is some sort of a creature or an alien. You do see little moon dust getting kicked
you
up.
do, yeah.
You see a shadow on
Yeah.
it. So there is a structure. Most people are thinking, the experts are saying, that it is probably something flying above the moon, or it was a rock or something that got disturbed, or a meteor that landed and is just kind of traveling along, because there's very little gravity, so it's going to go for a bit.
Now, we did get hit on Earth with meteors over the past few months, so let's just go with possibly it could be a meteor or something else. But either way, we do know the history of NASA and the fact that even if we saw a Coke can on the moon, they'd explain to us that this is a natural formation.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't know what this is. It looked fascinating. What caught my eye is it seemed to have a pretty natural movement.
Yeah.
It also had the dust and it had
I
the
saw that, but I
shadow.
thought this has got to be AI.
Well, that's the real question.
that's-
Is it AI or is it real? Because it's so hard to trust anything these days.
Well, you know, we talked about this before the show, but we're starting to see, and if you do a search on X right now, formerly known as Twitter, you will start noticing more and more UFO videos.
Yeah.
They're getting out there. We're hearing disclosures coming. Trump's about to release the UFO
That's
files.
what we hear.
We've got a Steven Spielberg movie, so you know something's up.
Yes.
So disclosures coming. You think it's going to be a nothing burger.
I do.
But I do think that more videos are getting out there that people are saying, wait a second, this is not AI. And there's a lot of those videos out there.
As a matter of fact, perfect lead in, because we're going to talk about that next on the Road Beyond podcast.
That's right. In fact, we're also going to dig up, you remember that Miami Mall incident?
Of course.
Yeah.
I've been seeing updates about this.
I've got a new video
Ooh,
and
ooh.
receipts. That's
Excellent.
coming up next.
And as floodwaters continue to rise, thousands are left destitute.
We already see major fire spread.
Hundreds of homes have been destroyed by the wildfires, which continue to blaze.
The storm barreled ashore overnight, packing 130-mile-per-hour winds.
Utter devastation. Now search and rescue efforts.
Across the country, disasters have left many in need of emergency shelter.
You can help those impacted by disasters big and small. Give now.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
My name is Jeff. Having a traumatic brain injury is understanding you were a lot smarter before the accident. I lost so many traits. Food donations from Suncoast Center of Independent Living help me tremendously. It can mean fully paying the bills off. That's one of the biggest gifts right there. I have a purpose again. Life goes on.
Poison Help is a free 24/7 hotline that answers all of your poison questions in over 100 languages.
Hello? Poison Help?
Hello? When poison happens, we're here for you. Just call Poison Help, 1-800-222-1222.
I'm Doug O'Brien from Houston's Eagle, along with Todd Duplantis. It is the Road Beyond podcast. Don't forget, you can like, follow, and share everything we do on all the social media sites. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Road Beyond podcast.
We do seem to cover aliens a lot on the show, so we figure, what the heck, let's continue on with it. And you've got videos, I've got videos. What do you have?
All right, so we mentioned Disclosure Day earlier, that we believe that is coming. There have been congressional hearings, more and more of them, about UFOs and UAPs.
Right.
In 2023, former intelligence officer David Grush testified under oath about a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval program.
Right.
And wait till you hear what he says under questioning from Congresswoman Mace. Let's take a listen to this.
I believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials.
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
Biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
First, he said he can't confirm if they have any crafts or if they're aliens or whatever, but then he says they did have non-human pilots in the wreckage. So at first he said nothing, but then he said a whole lot. He is claiming that we have aliens. He said it under oath to Congress. How is that not leading the news?
He's been in the news a lot lately as well.
Yes.
Especially when he thinks disclosure is coming. He's releasing bits and pieces more and more about that. Now, one thing I've heard from several people, including some of our sitting congressmen and women people who are officials, is that, we do have non-human life forms. Now, the question, which I've been hearing a lot on social media, not a question, but statements more along the lines of, hey, wait a second, these may not be aliens, interdimensional beings, that's been tossed around, but another theory is they may not be the humans we know, but maybe they're us from the future.
Yes, I've heard that as well, but you were talking about a lot of the officials that we have that are talking about it. Marco Rubio warned that these reports involve people with very high clearances. Chuck Schumer has said that it could cause a constitutional crisis over UFOs. Tim Burchett said what they know would keep you up at night. And Kevin McCarthy said if we had found a UFO, they'd tell us. Yeah, they told you.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not telling us.
They're having briefing us.
I found another video.
Yeah.
And just take a look at this and see what you think of this video.
Okay.
This is from Area 51, leaked footage of an alien playing basketball. So we are prepared.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
If the NBA ever goes interdimensional league or just across the space.
Yeah, that's good AI.
We are ready. So you don't think that's real?
No, I'm going to go, no. Yeah.
The fact that they even put the alien in a dress and had the alien play.
I know. You got to love it.
But I saw that and I was like, all right, that's good for a laugh. But it will be interesting, and just the fact that these people are saying these things under oath, that our Congress people are saying this, officials on both sides, Republicans, Democrats, it doesn't matter. Everyone is saying, A, there is something that we don't know, and B, we need to know.
Don't you find it interesting? You cannot get congressional leaders on both sides of the aisle to agree on anything.
True.
You can't get them to vote away. You can't get them to come together in agreement. However, when you talk aliens, everybody's on board. And
Yeah.
they seem to agree on that.
Yes.
Don't you find that awfully strange?
Well, it just tells me that either there is something a little more than what we already know,
Yeah.
or they don't know everything and they've just heard little bits and pieces and they just want a final answer. And I think that's where most
Yeah.
people are. I think a lot of people believe there are something extraterrestrial. You look at the technological boom we've had in the
Yep.
last 70 years. So there's something going on. I don't think it's going to be a whole lot more than we know, but I do think it will be some more in crafts and technology. But we just want to know.
Well, you know, last week we were talking alien hybrids.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, could we have one working with a sitting congresswoman?
Really?
Yeah. Take a
Okay.
look at this video here. Now, we're not going to play the sound, but you'll look at the woman off in the background to the right. Now, the representative is Congressional or Representative Stacey Plaskett, by the way, who was named in the Epstein files. She's
Right.
the one that allegedly took a phone call from him during a congressional hearing. But you see this woman behind. She's mimicking what Plaskett is saying. And she's got a very peculiar look. A lot of people are saying, is this an alien hybrid? Could this woman be an alien hybrid?
No.
Well, she could be just a speechwriter.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I think she's a speechwriter on too much Adderall.
Common sense says that she's probably, well, I don't know. We're not going to claim, stop it. We're not even going to mention something like that.
Okay.
Forget you heard it. But speechwriter, possibly yes. Now, an alien hybrid, no. But it's an interesting video because it's just very weird. But from what I understand, speechwriters always do stand around in the background going, you know.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
Mimicking or just going through what they wrote for the congresswoman
Of course.
to read. So that's kind of our take on that. I've got another video for you because we talked about the Miami Mall incident. To bring you up to speed, if you're not aware of this, back on January 1st, 2024, police were called, by the hundreds out
Yes.
to the Miami Mall. I think it was in Bayshore.
Yes, yep.
And the original report were kids fighting with sticks, but people are saying there are aliens here. Well, everybody's phone was confiscated. No video of the kids were ever found. And apparently police officers were told to quiet down about the whole incident. Meanwhile, you had a bunch of people on the internet saying, look, we saw aliens materialize at the mall. They were huge. They kind of faded in. They transported out. Well, here's some black and white video that was just recently released that may want to cause you to look at this differently. Now, what could this be? Was the video edited? Well, it's slowed down, but if you look in the video, you see what appears right here, large beings walking around.
Between the trees there.
Between the trees.
Yeah.
These are obviously not normal-sized human beings. Well, just to bring you back, they sent over 60 police vehicles to this. Would they send 60 police vehicles to kids who
No.
were fighting with sticks in the mall?
No, absolutely
No,
not.
they did for this case. It is true that people were in higher level were told to be quiet about this.
Yeah.
Do not talk about it. There has been video released on the internet by a kid who spoke with a gentleman who was running for the sheriff down there.
Mhm.
And he flat out said, I can't talk about it. Why? I can't talk about it. Were there aliens there? I can't talk about it. Why wouldn't he just dismiss it?
There was also the son of a police officer that was
Yes.
there. He had his dad on the phone and
That's
asked him
exactly
questions.
what- yeah.
Yeah, and his
Yeah.
dad said he can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Now, there is a retired, now this is going around, we don't know how true it is. I'm going to do a little more investigating, but a retired police officer who was at the event claims that he, now that he's retired,
Yeah.
has come out and said that he did see these beings materialize
Yeah.
and disappear. He doesn't have any video of it, but he has confirmed some of the things that we've actually heard.
Right. Well, there's also another explanation. Can we look at that video once again? Because I'm going to bring up another explanation which makes a little more sense. If you look at the video, you're going to see what appears to be a creature. Now, keep in mind, it appears to be walking. The camera is changing angles. The camera is moving, possibly not that. Some people are saying that's a well-known statue that sits in that area. So this may not be aliens. It could be something called paranormal pareidolia.
Yeah. I was
which
thinking,
we've covered on this show as well.
With all the lights and as bright
Yeah.
as they are in the different angles, I was thinking some sort of a shadow of
Yes.
a person, because that was the case. They thought they had aliens walking in front of them all.
Right.
And it was actually, I think, 3 people, and the way the lights were hitting them. And that was shot from like up in a high rise.
Yep.
So the eyes plays tricks and the brain does all these
That's
crazy
exactly
things.
right.
How many times have you looked at a potato chip, and seen a face, or looked at the clouds and seen a dragon?
Well, that video may be pareidolia, but there are just too many people coming forward. And we have seen video on this show, go back and look in the past episodes, that do show what appears to be something material. Now, whether or not materializing, whether or not it was AI, it was a pretty damn good video.
Yeah, something happened. Like you said, you don't send 60 to 100 police cars for a handful of kids fighting. That just does not happen. So there was something, either the police were told something and it wound up not being true, and so the presence was there unnecessarily, or there was something more going on. But with the way people were talking and acting, and the fact that nothing came out in this day and age, when we have these things around 24/7,
cops were taking
I find it hard to believe that it was kids fighting or a misunderstanding.
Exactly. So we're winding down to our last episode, to our last segment on the show, and we're going to show you some interesting things. I've got a story about a guy, his tacos, and why you don't want to touch them.
I'm going to help you get centered so that you can make it in life okay if you can do this process.
Can't wait. Stay tuned.
There wasn't a seat, so we built a stage. They told us to dim our light, so we stood in the spotlight. Since 1978, we have been the home for our stars, our community, our culture, preserving our stories and history, setting the stage for our future for the next generation of dreamers, doers, and disruptors. We're moved to bring us closer through every moment. Your story starts at Crossroads. Visit crossroadstheatercompany.org.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
I'm Garth Brooks.
And I'm Trisha Yearwood.
A safe, decent, affordable place to call home is a canvas full of
hope and joy, opportunity.
Visit Habitat.org to help more families make masterpieces.
Welcome back to the Road Beyond podcast. Todd Duplantis here. Doug O'Brien, my co-host, and I've just handed him a story he has not seen. Doug, read this stupid criminal story.
All right, here we go. I'm glad you set it up that it's stupid ahead of time. The story proves once again that never come between a man and his tacos, which I thought was that was just a known thing, but specifically all the tacos, because a single leftover taco could have prevented this entire situation. Meet Dale Martin, 53, from West Virginia. He woke up hungry, dreaming of tacos, only to discover the tacos were gone. Those are fighting words right there. And look, we get it. A taco craving can only be satisfied by actual tacos, not pizza, not a sandwich, not someone saying we have food at home. According to police, Dale became furious when someone else in the house ate all the tacos. Not some of them, not most of them, every single taco. Dale then made a series of decisions that will absolutely haunt him. He went into his bedroom, came back out with a .22 caliber semi-automatic rifle, which of course any sane man would have done, which is generally not listed under appropriate taco solutions. He fired a shot into the staircase. What did the staircase do to him? Where the taco-eating victim had been standing, because nothing says reasonable response like gunfire over Mexican food, right? It gets even better. Dale reportedly called another witness, explained the entire taco situation, then allegedly threatened to get the 12 gauge, which again feels a little excessive for missing tacos. Deputies arrived, found the firearm, found the spent shell casing, but did not find any tacos.
Yeah.
He was arrested and charged with attempted murder.
Over tacos.
Over tacos.
Yeah.
No official word on where the tacos were from, but let's be honest, this feels like Taco Bell behavior. Probably a beautiful spread of cheesy gordita crunches, maybe a Crunch Wrap Supreme, possibly a Baja Blast it's almost involved a Baja Blast.
Yeah, could be, yeah.
All gone. That's pure betrayal. Moral of the story, label your leftovers, buy extra tacos, and never under any circumstances commit a felony over dinner.
Yeah, that's kind of puts a damper on dinner plans.
You know, the sad part is, that's not even fake news. That's
really what happened. I mean, these things actually happen.
All right,
Yeah.
so after hearing a story like that, and a situation like that can be very traumatic. And sometimes you need to basically center yourself, right? So that you can get through the day. There are a lot of videos popping up on social media called light synchronization channeling. People standing in sunlight or candlelight, eyes closed, chanting to what sounds like gibberish. Just as a matter of fact, don't take my word for it. Take a look and listen to this video of these two ladies doing light synchronization channeling. I honestly don't know what that was.
Well, there are obviously drugs involved with that, right?
There could have been, but this is a real thing that people do. They believe they can channel the light and with the sounds. And these two ladies have several videos. I've seen others, and that is a whole different level. I just picture somewhere them being in the Southwest with some peyote and a lot of time.
A lot of peyote and apparently a lot of time. Well, there you go, folks. Another show in the books. And of course, money back. Well, we're not giving it today because the show's free.
You got your price of it. The price of admission was worth it today.
Exactly. Thanks for being here with us for this episode of the Road Beyond podcast. Todd Duplantis.
Doug O'Brien from Houston's Eagle. And don't forget, like, follow, and share on all social media sites. The Road Beyond podcast. See you later.